I'm going to show you how to paint cranberries in watercolor. Before starting these new lessons, I'd like to introduce our learning community to you. All members can access to enjoying art workshops and collections of lessons. Paint With Me members can download the full-size reference photos for a better learning experience. VIP members can join the private Facebook group to actively share discussions of our learning and experiences with like-minded artists. Gold members can receive advice directly from me and receive video critiques and suggestions of your work. Please check below for the link to join us. We're waiting for you to become part of our Enjoying Art learning community. First, we need to decide what we're going to select. Lots of things going on here. So we're going to play with this. It's called composition. So every time you should draw on a sketchbook to play out. I want to select these three. Notice there's an overlapping between this and that. This is at the overlap, the side on the left. And this one is kind of touching the edge. I don't want it just touching. Either overlap or leave a little space. So I'm going to have this one coming over here, a little bit off. So now coming to the stem, connect to the branch. Okay. You can change it. You can change the size or the length of this stem if you want. But let's put something on the paper first, and then let's play with it. Okay. That's why I keep saying that if you want to do watercolor well, draw a little more. Okay. I'm gonna. And this leaf is kind of interesting. We may or may not want to include it, but put it over here first. And there's an interesting leaf underneath here. Is coming here. Like that, make it a little smaller. And there's a piece of shadow here underneath. I want to make that leaf a little bit bigger. Actually, I want that to be in the shadow because we need some darker colors in the background here. This is kind of interesting. I have a little light leaf on this side. I have a little light green color leaf on this side. I have more leaf on this side. I have there is a small branch coming on this side. I'm going to draw that. And notice how dark the color for each part. And there's some little dark color in the background. Some leaf over here. And let's see. What about we're going to shrink it a little smaller. How about that? That's called cropping. We crop it in and maybe leave a little bit more on the left side. So you don't have to have the main object sitting right in the middle of it. So have a little dynamic balance for the painting. I think this is good with this composition. Based on this, I'm going to transfer the compositions onto the watercolor paper. Take a look. This is the edge, this is the edge, right? And we're going to see, and where is this? And where is that? Whoa. This is like a 1, 2, 3 and half. So if we divide this is the side, 1, 2, 3 and half. It may take some time for you to divide it evenly. And lucky me, 1, 2, 3 and half. So I'm going to come down over here. That means these two berries were sitting in this area, right? And there's one at the front, and there's the one being blocking some of it. And maybe I'm moving in a little, even a little more, and like that. And this one will be off a little bit. This is how important for the study, right? Now you know exactly what you want to do. You can spend as much time in the drawing as you want. Okay, good. Now I have this coming up a little more, facing this way. And here you go. I do want to make sure I include part of the lunch at the side over here because I like the dark color, the change of colors. I'm going to include part of the leaf and have a little gap over here. I maybe have this a little shorter so I can see that the whole thing over here and connect that too. That's good. So I have some shape over here and I have the leaves coming down this way. And here you go. Maybe add a little red over here, suggesting some berry in the background. Okay, right? And I'm going to have one over here, but those one will kind of blur because out of focus in the background. Okay, now here we go. Now I'm going to add another leaf over here, and there's a leaf over here too. Kind of lots of things going on in here. And this the background. We're going to have some texture. Have this is more in detail and clear. Maybe set a little color to the main object first. Let's start from there. And then we walk into the background. Touch it. Have a little color. Right? First. Ooh. There's some highlight. I just cover the highlight. I don't want to. And I'm going to do that. The color now is pretty light. And also leave there is their suggestions. So now I need to remove some of the color for the highlight. It's pretty easy. That's called lifting off technique. It's very easy to lift it off. And no matter what kind of paper you have, as soon as your color is not really staining that much, and it's very easy to lift up the color. The color that we're using, they are not staining colors. They are very easy to lift off, right? I just put a little color there. I know the final color will be much, much darker red. Okay, I'm gonna put this color. Watch out for the highlight. So can I lift that? Have a little leaf over here. We just leave the space. Now we'll come over here for this side, and the reference is they're touching together. I just put them separate so that they become two shapes. Actually, one group, another group. They separate now, right? Now I come over here. Oh, you know what? I just cover the highlight. So this is also my drawing stage. Consider a drawing with shapes. Right? Now what I want to do here, I'm going to just remove that. Now it's going to be the highlight. It's watercolor. It's very, very easy. You just put the color in, move the color out. Basically, simple. Now what I want to do, for the green color, I'm going to touch a little bit green colors. I'm going to take a little Prussian blue over here, just add a little bit. I don't want to touch that color. You know, when you touch it, these two colors going to merge together because it's wet. So the water can help you and the water can make you upset. Depends on how you control it, right? Okay, over here. I can leave a little gap because we're going to come back again and again and do more and more later. And I can do a little dry brush. That will be fine. What I would want to do, I'm going to actually want to lift these colors. I think it's too dark for now. Okay, good. Now we have some colors and putting into the main objects. And I don't want to work in the background yet. This one is still wet, so I'm going to wait a little bit. We're going to touch other color first. Like for example, the leaves on the top over here And let's see, we're gonna add a little color there and make a little bit more of the Prussian blue. I'm gonna have a little green color over here, just put it on. I'm gonna have a little green color over here. But how dark that color is supposed to be, we don't know yet, right, at this point, because we don't know how dark their background color would be. They need to work together to create the contrast between light color, dark color, and how they work together, right? So now put a little green color over here for now. So I know some of you, you like to have something like done really quickly, instantly, right? You kind of, ooh, do I have to do it in that many steps? It's kind of frustrating. No, it's not that frustrating. That's why this medium, it actually makes you to become a more patient person. In knowing how to plan and how to predicting things would happen. And if something not coming up the way that you want it, and how can you have the confidence to control it later. Okay. And putting a little color over here, and putting a little color over there. I'm going to put this a little bit. Whatever I'm doing now is just the base color. Okay, it's not actually going to be the final yet. Okay. Now, this is almost dry. Now I'm going to start with putting the color in the background. Now I already have some kind of ideas how those color is going to work with the main object. Right? I already have some color even though the color is not dark enough. Now what I would like to do, I'm going to have kind of looks like a complementary color to the red color already from the reference. So it have some dark color, light colors. I already have lots of blue color already over here. So we need a little bit more red color. I'm gonna get some red color here. I'm gonna borrow over. And also we need some yellow color. We need more yellow color. I'm gonna take lots of yellow color here too. Because you look at the background color, the green color is not bright. It's kind of so you know that it's not just yellow and blue. It has red too, because the blue colors is very intense and very bright and very aggressive too. I'm going to get a little bit more of the red color now. This close to the color we want. Right? Cool. Now let's do it. Just put it here. What I want to do, that's why the bigger brush, it actually helps to spread the colors really quickly, and over here quickly. If something end up doesn't really look like the reference, it's okay. I'm gonna putting the color in the middle of those gaps. A little faster. Okay, here you go. And over here too, a little darker area. So on this side, I'm going to have this color. That's the only first layer of their background colors. Okay, here we go. Just use the water, and the water, you know, is going to soften the area. Now when it's still wet, I'm just going to put some water over here. And this even cover over the object in the background. Okay, I'm gonna soften it a little bit. Okay, here you go. Like this. Now over here, I want to have some darker color over here. Some darker color, get a little red and get a little blue. And I'm going to have some colors a little bit darker, so it's a little bit uneven. The first thing I would like to do for the background, to add some color in here, so it's not look too flat. And I noticed some red color is supposed to be over here. I can tap on it, and a little red color, maybe a little yellow color somewhere over here. Put your favorite color wherever you want to do. So I will try to finish this background area as quick as you can. You can modify that again later, but let's settle the background so that we can come back to work on the main objects. Okay. Over here too. Okay. Put a little, and it's kind of soft. It's nice, but I want some dark color inside the background colors. Over here too. I'm gonna have that. If just even though the big brush, you can use the corner or use the whole thing. Depends on how big the area that you want to cover. Right? Cool. Look a little messy. This is good. I even make it even more texture. Okay, now let's make a little more water into that and let it run. And it's gonna come up interesting. And here I want it to be darker. You're seeing the area there. Okay. Trust yourself. It will come out nice. And get a little bit yellow color with the, make a little bit green color. I want to put some green color here. Lift up some accumulated wet over here, a little bit too much. I'm gonna let it go. You can see it's a little belly over here. You can use the brush to tip it to lift up some of the extremely wet area. Like that. That's good. Now we're gonna apply the salt. You don't have to put too much. It's gonna create some texture. You're gonna see a little bit over here. It's good to have some consistency. If you apply it to the background, apply the similar technique so that people, oh, there's something that are actually related. They call similarity. Okay, that's good. We don't have to do too much. What we're gonna do now, some of the area, like over here, I'm ready to putting the color in. And if you merged into other colors, it's okay. Now I'm gonna setting the second layer for these objects. Okay. Now let's see. And you can see how the color work together now. And over here, also we can put the red color in. If it merge into the background, we're gonna see how it's gonna come out. And we like accidents, and most of the time accident actually bring surprises, versus most of the time it's a good surprises. Okay, like that over here. And then we'll work into this one too. And we find a way to separate these two later. They are now in the same colors. They are merged together. Right? Okay. We're going to keep going onto this side. Okay, that's good. Now what we want to do, put also darker color, a little bit darker, right? Because that is in the background. We're gonna putting that color in here. And then I'm gonna put a little bit on this here, like something covered by the leaves underneath, and we're gonna another one in here. And I'm also gonna put a little bit darker shade into here for the small branch. So I'm gonna make a little darker color. How to make the dark color?
Gray and blue.
Yep, there are two colors together make it really dark. So I'm gonna have this dark color coming here, a little bit more blue. Okay, let's see, like that shape. That, and I have a little dark color over here too, and I have some dark color on this side. Here you go. Now I have some dark color underneath here, but we don't want to do it now because I don't want to get the color too much into the berry now. So let's see, we can have a little dark color over here, a little bit dark color over here too. Now little by little we are getting in to the details like that. Cool. And now we can also put a little bit the brown purple colors right here to that for that leaf. Color merge together. We might want to take a short break so let the color dry. That is close to dry, like 90% already dry. Now this step is very crucial for the final look of the painting. You need to know what you want to keep, what you want to let go. So first I'm going to use my big brush to do the big adjustment. I'm looking for the big relationship. The first thing, the background here calling too much attention. So what I like to do, I'm going to tone it down a little bit. I have the contrast a little bit subtle. So how can I do that? I'm going to just wet it and I'm going to overlay another color on the top. So that color could be a little bit green, like this kind of thing. I'm going to just put another color on the top. The color would look a little bit more softer. This is translucent watercolor. Whatever color you put on the top, it would be added to the color that you have on the paper. Now you can see a little bit softer now. Scare me. Okay. Now I'm gonna have for continue. You can have a kind of gradient color on the top if you want. You can see that. So almost like I put a color films on the top, so the contrast would be a little less. Other way over here, and on this side too, I'm gonna put this translucent watercolor and put on the top. Now the background, it would a little bit less. Okay, that's first. Still have some interesting contrast there. Okay. Okay, next thing. Now I'm going to use the number 12 round brush. Clean it. Make sure it's really clean because I'm going to touch into the area for the highlight. So you see this is a little bit softer transition. Just use the tip of the brush. Now you can see make this a little bit softer. So while on this side I want it to be a little bit lighter and maybe a little bit softer, but not as soft as the other side. So you can control the edge and the transition. Right over here you can do that too, and a little bit softer on this side. Make sure you use the water to help you make that transition happen. Right? And over here too, you make that transition a little bit softer, like this. Now next, what I want to do, I'm going to make it even more red. Now I'm going to see. Now the color already dried, so I'm going to guess I'm going to make this color more coming over here. Now you can refine the edge. Now on this side, I want to coming in a little bit of the highlight area. It's good. And I put it here. At the same time, at this point, I can introduce a little bit darker color for the shadow side. And just take a little darker color which contain a little blue color in here, and you can put it on this side. Like that. So you can see a little bit more suggestion that is a round shape. Right? Now coming over here too, you also should be able to see the interaction on the color. There is some red color actually reflected from the other side. So now I'm gonna get a little more red, especially in the light side. Have a little brighter. Okay, here you go. And on this side, a little bit transitions. So a little suggestion that you add to the color, it actually create an impression. And without those suggestions, no one actually can know, because you are the creator, and maybe they can use the imagination. They can get what you are trying to say, right? So better that you actually control it, how much you want to do. Now I'm going to also work into this one. And this one I'm going to make a little bit different from the other two, which is I'm going to add a little bit yellow color to it. I'm going to add a little yellow color. I'm going to do it on this side. I'm just going to add a little bit yellow color in here, a little bit like red, orange color. Okay, here you go. The whole area is still wet, so the color is going to change. And maybe a little bit over here too, like that. And add a little over there. Okay, now these three things now pop a little more different from before. I'm going to also wet this area too, and prepare that is the next technique we're going to use. We want to also put in some green colors. So I'm going to have this color and put it on this side and get a little bit pleasant blue, and now create some green color. Over here, we want this green colors, it actually pop a little more, right? So this color a little bit brighter. Edge over here. Now soften a little bit over here. I know you see the color merged together, it's just fine. When you have the color merged together, you kind of get the sense of there's two colors, actually they are interact to each other. Also there's going to be a darker catch the shadow over here, so it's going to clear that out. So that will be for later. Okay, what we're going to do now, continue apply some of the green colors. I'm going to get this colors and this pleasant blue again. Okay, now we're going to put this color in here. Be a little careful of if you want this color merged together or not. You can leave the gap. It's still pretty wet, so I'm not going to touch it yet. I'm going to put a little color over here. We can come back to do a little more later. Now you can see that actually the objects a little brighter is more at the front. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit color in here. Okay, now I'm going to have a brownish green in here. So I'm going to have this color over here too, suggesting the old leaf over there. And maybe have a little bit of this color and draw a little line, because this leaf is at the front, so have a little detail. It's kind of natural because it's right in front of you. And maybe at this time I'm going to add a little darker tone. Now here you go. And a darker tone, but I don't want it to be so bright. This blue color is very bright, so I'm going to get a little red in here and make a little less bright. And maybe get a little yellow too. I'm gonna take a little yellow color from here, and this kind of dark color, get a little bit more red. Okay, now here you go. We want this leaf have the kind of dark shape. There's some cast shadow from the berry onto it. Here you go. That's interesting, right? I'm gonna have that other shadow over here. I'm gonna put this dark color in here. That is the cast shadow. Okay, think about what the shape you want it to look like. Dark color for this leaf, one time to make this. And also we need to have a little bit lifting up so we can see this actually suggesting there's something as it going through here, and this would be the dry leaf. We need to lift up the color for the stem, the connections. I'm going to lift up a little color over here for the mat. We're going to add a little detail in here. Okay, wash that. I'm going to scratch. You have to make it exactly look like that. Just a little scratch, holding one side. It's very small shape, so it's very easy to just scratch it. But the scratch need to be like when it's still close to dry. It's not dried yet. If you dry it, you cannot scratch it. Maybe a couple over here, like that. And now we have something to do. Lift up the color a little bit lighter. Lift up the color a little bit lighter over here. It's suggested a little smaller shape. And I can lift up a little bit and not so bright. So it's not fighting with the highlight. Now it's come to the time that we want to have this a little separate, because these two kind of merge together. What I like to do is just a little bit darker colors, a little bit, okay, darker than their colors. I'm going to draw a little shape over there. Now it's separate between that two, okay. I'm going to have that like this. I don't want this side get in too much. I'm going to just use the red color. Connect it like that. And I also make a little red colors on this side, because some reflected colors onto this berry. So you can see that originally you can see those colors as bleeding into the background. They are not separate now because we're adding new layers of colors onto the berry, and now the berry now is stand up a lot more. Maybe a little bit, move it a little closer by adding a little bit more definition to that berry. We're going to start clean up this space. That's called lifting up technique. Lifting off, now you can use it to create the stem. Now it's pretty easy for you to lift up, especially the paper that we use. It's pretty easy to change it. Okay, now let's see. We're going to have this color coming through here. Okay, and coming through over here too. Now we're going to add that color coming through over here. That's good. Go over here and coming to this direction. And now you can see there's actually there's three berries attached to something. Okay, other than kind of where are they attaching to, right? That's good. Let's get a little bit kind of warm brown colors, right? This color together. This is warm brown colors. Okay, let's see. So we're gonna have this color coming to And this color coming through over here. Now this color over here, but this one is pretty close to us, so we get a little bit more contrast. Here you go, add a little bit details into that. Another one. Is that easy? Now I come to the last step. First I'm going to have a little light shape over here, because that's a little bit like too much. Cannot really tell. I think I need this area a little bit darker so that leaves come up a little bit, right? So how can we do that? You just put the dark color here. Now a little bit colors. It make a difference. Right? Now what you want to do now, you want to softly have the color merge into the neighbor, right? Otherwise it looks kind of that colors not belong to somewhere. And what I want to do, I have that color a little bit darker right here, because look a little bit too flat. I want to have the top over here a little bit different, a little bit darker, a little bit blue, like that. And careful, the color underneath is very rigid, and if you scratch it too much with the brush, and the color is just going to come out. Okay, so softly let it out. And I like this color, looks interesting, and I have a little bit light in here, have a little light, and this probably can be a little bit smoother, like that, a little bit. Have this color, and coming over here, just have it, and maybe have a little bit yellow, orange colors, and actually having here this leaf, like a little rusted feeling of this leaf, and maybe have that over here too.